I am about to come directly at you with some mad knowledge, bro. Because honestly, there's been like a few studies testing dream characters, the people in your dreams, and testing the capabilities of like what the people in your dreams can do. And there was one study on this shit in like 1989 by Paul Foley. That guy's like the OG lucid dreamer, bro. That guy like created his own lucid dreaming technique and shit. He's the OG. He did a study on seeing if dream characters were conscious and like could act of their own independent thought and take independent actions. And in this study, to see if the people in your dreams were conscious, their definition of consciousness was like, could the dream character observe the dream scene from their own perspective? So could they observe and act on your dream, but from their own point of view, without like needing you to like control them or some shit? And it was like seeing if they could have independent thought as well. And I'm not gonna waste your time. Honestly, the conclusion of this study to see if dream characters were conscious was that they can't definitely know for sure, for certain, if dream characters are conscious. Because, like, you don't even know if I'm fucking conscious, bro. Not to freak you out, but you could be the only conscious living person in the whole universe, and this is a whole figment of your imagination, right? But you can't definitely know if the dream characters were conscious, but the study said that you should treat dream characters like they have a consciousness of their own, and like they can act by themselves. And they said as well, you should especially treat them like they're a conscious being in therapy, like if you're using your dreams for therapy or some shit like that. And the reason, sorry, I'm just wiping my fucking nose. The reason they said that was because the tasks they gave people in the dreams, the dream characters, were like, they kind of showed that dream characters can act of their own accord. And the way they tested dream characters was to get lucid dreamers to give them tasks. Because obviously, when you become lucid and realize you're in a dream, then you can go and interact with dream characters and like tell them to do shit. So all these tasks were like designed to see if dream characters have consciousness. And I'm just yapping, I know I'm probably repeating myself a lot, but one of these tasks was it was to get the dream character to draw something from their own point of view. So, for example, you sit opposite a dream character in a dream, and then they draw something, and then you look at their drawing to see if it like looks accurate and looks right, and then that would prove that the dream character kind of drew the drawing from their own observer's perspective. And the study showed that dream characters can draw something from their own perspective, and then when you go over and look at what they drew, it can look like pretty fucking good. And there was another like example. They didn't list every example in this study, but there was one where this guy realized he was dreaming and asked his girlfriend, who was a dream character in the dream, to write something on like a board or something. And then she wrote like 3ZWG. And the dreamer was like, what the fuck does this mean? But then he woke up and recorded it, because the participants in the study either wrote down their dreams or recorded it on like a tape recorder. So he recorded it, and he just kind of forgot about it, because 3ZWG, what the fuck does that mean, right? But then 2 months later, he started reading this dream, and he realized 3ZWG was like the abbreviation for a 3-bedroom apartment or something like that. And then at the time when he asked his girlfriend, the dream version of his girlfriend, when he asked her to write that, and he didn't know what it meant 2 months ago, it turns out they were looking for a 3-bedroom apartment. And this thing the girlfriend wrote in the dream, 3ZWG, it meant 3-bedroom apartment. So that kind of like proved another thing, that dream characters can express things that the dreamer doesn't know, like they're not aware of the meaning of the dreamer. But it's like a part of your brain knows what it means, even though like you don't. That kind of proves that. And there was I don't know if that shit makes sense. Does this make sense to you, bro? Am I just yapping? Does this actually make sense? Like, tell me, yes or no, does this make sense? Sorry, I was just trying to like trick you into talking out loud and act like a schizo person. But there was another thing in this study where they got the dream characters to come up with a made up word, and then there was this one dreamer who asked a woman in his dreams to come up with a word, and then when she said the word and he asked her what the word meant, she denied having said it. So firstly, that showed dream characters can come up with their own words that you haven't thought of. Secondly, that shows dream characters can seem to lie as well, because she denied having said the word even though she fucking said it. So that was interesting. And there was also shit as well, like arithmetic, like basic maths. And I think this Paul Foley guy did another study on dream characters doing maths in a lucid dream. And these studies all showed that dream characters can do basic maths, but if the answer to the maths problem is 20 or above 20, they probably won't be able to work out the problem unless you've already thought of the answer. Sorry, I had to fucking go for like a few minutes because my dog started barking. Bruv, there's like some fucking possum. I don't know where you live, but there's mad possums here. And like there's one in my fucking roof and it just keeps making a bunch of noise, bro. And it just makes my dogs bark a shit ton. So I don't even know. What was I talking about? I was talking about arithmetic. Long story short, dream characters are shit at maths. Like, that's what the study found out. Dream characters are shit at maths, bro. That's the conclusion. But there has been a few other studies on dream characters doing maths. And they've mainly all shown that, yeah, if the answer to the maths problem is above 20, then they're probably not going to be good at it. But there was another interesting study on dream characters, like kind of testing the abilities of dream characters from 2014, done by a guy called Tadas Stumbrius. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think he's German. He's another German, like Paul Foley. Bro, these German motherfuckers, I don't know what's up with them, but they're mad lucid dreamers and mad lucid dreaming researchers. I don't know what's going on in Germany, but this Tadas Stumbrius guy did a study on looking at the connection of the dreamer and your dream characters. So kind of seeing how close the connection to your dream characters are. And to do this, he got lucid dreamers to realize they're in a dream and then ask dream characters to guess the number of fingers they were holding up behind their back. And the expected percentage, like in real life, if you go up to a motherfucker and you're like, yo, guess how many fingers I'm holding up behind my back, I think the expected chance for them to guess the right number is 9%. So, I mean, according to this lucid dreaming study anyways. So it should be 9%. But when these dreamers asked dream characters how many fingers they were holding up, the correct percentage was like 60-70% or something like that. So that proves that like dream characters can retrieve information from a lucid dreamer that is like hidden from them. They can retrieve hidden information. And this is interesting because they did a second experiment where they got the dreamer to ask a dream character to write down a number, and then the dreamer try to guess that number. And if I'm correct, once again, it was around 60-70% correct. So that's really interesting. I guess that proves that we already knew this shit, but that just kind of proves that your dream characters are obviously very connected to you, and you can and they can retrieve hidden information from each other. And there was another interesting thing they talked about in this study that was talking about the part of your brain that has to do with random number generation. And they were kind of talking about why dream characters were so good at guessing the correct number. And I think the part of your brain that's critical in random number generation is the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, if I'm correct, which is a part of your brain. And so this is critical for coming up with random numbers, right? And while you're in rapid eye movement sleep, which is when you're having dreams and which is when the people in the like sleep, or like the lucid dreamers in the research study thing, they would have been having lucid dreams in rapid eye movement sleep, right? And in REM, rapid eye movement sleep, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is like deactivated a little. And so once you become lucid, your prefrontal cortex like becomes more activated in your brain, but the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex doesn't it doesn't really like get up to higher levels, like high levels as much as it would when you're fully awake. So essentially what I'm trying to say is, bro, what I'm trying to say is the part of your brain to do with coming up with random numbers is really like deactivated when you're in rapid eye movement sleep. So if you ask a dream character to guess the number of fingers you're holding up behind your back, the reason which the reason why they will probably always just say the number that you are actually holding up behind your back, or like if you're trying to guess what number they're thinking of, it's probably going to be correct, is because your brain while you're dreaming is basically incapable of even coming up with random numbers because the fucking dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is not activated properly, and that part of your brain has to do with like coming up with numbers or some shit. Dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, I'm pretty sure it's called that shit. Yeah, I was like, God, I was like, wait, what if I was saying it wrong the whole time? Because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But yeah, I thought that whole thing was interesting. And I thought especially the Paul Foley shit was interesting. That man literally got lucid dreamers. It was 5 students and 2 psychologists participating in the study. He got these motherfuckers to test dream characters in a study, bro. Like, isn't that crazy? Literally studying, testing people in your dreams. And he can, keep in mind, this Paul Foley guy, as I said, is like the OG lucid dreamer. He's not stupid. And he concluded you should treat dream characters as if they're other conscious beings. Which is kind of awkward when I read that, because the amount of dream characters I've fucking killed in the most brutal way is crazy, bro. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that shit was interesting. Like, yeah, I'm sorry my dog started barking. My dog right here is just staring at me. He's like, he's wondering what the fuck I'm doing talking to you, bro. But I know, it's alright, I know you understand. But anyways, I don't know, join the Discord. I'm kind of tired, so sorry if this seems like some mad schizo rant right now. I'm fucking tired, but join the Discord. Dislike the video and leave me a mean comment. I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you.